So, like I say, this is the end of the age. This is the return of Jesus, the second coming. Right, just moving on though. But just like that, again, I'll stick with second coming scripture. It says that the woman is given the great wings of the wings of a great eagle, and she flees into the wilderness where she is protected for 1,290 days from the face of the serpent, from the face of Satan, from the face of Obama in the second coming. And like I said, the woman, I believe, is the Jewish congregation, because before Jesus left, he told them, when you see the abomination of desolation, flee from Jerusalem, because the Romans are going to overthrow the temple again in the last times, but they're going to set up the Antichrist in the temple as a person of worship, and that's the time that the Jews will flee into the wilderness. But all, like I say, history repeats, and in the times of the first coming, that's right, that Mary fled into the wilderness of Egypt, and she remained there until Herod was dead. Now from that, if we say history is going to repeat itself to that extent, now let's say Jesus was 2 years old, okay, from when he's born, 2 years old, and that's when Mary fled into the wilderness for 3.5 years herself. Like I say, history repeats itself, so we take the second coming and we can see that the first coming, Mary would have been in Egypt for 3.5 years, just like the second coming. I mean, it's getting a little bit confusing, but I will make images. Now, if we were to take that first coming as Jesus being 2 years old when they fled, let's say, yeah, maximum 2 years old when they fled into the wilderness for 3.5 years. Herod died in 4 BC, and then Jesus returned to Israel. Now, if we take end times second coming scripture, and we take that September 23rd, you know, when the birth happens, on that day the birth happens. But if we go forward 2 years, let's say, as a period of possibility when the dragon would have tried to devour her before she fled, if we take 2 years, that will take September 2017 to September 2019. Yeah? Now, if the woman flees for 1,260 days, 3.5 years, within or just at that 2 year mark, now that puts, we go from September 2019, we go half a year, we come to the Passover month, March, April of March, April of 2016. If we count 3 years from there, 3.5 years, 1,260 days, we actually get to the Passover time, March, April again, in the year 2023. It might sound a bit confusing, that, but it's interesting now because it matches another scripture I was trying to explain about Daniel's 2,300 days on which the Temple Mount would be defiled, and obviously that's another video, but you can see how history repeats itself. The woman Mary flees. In the end times, the woman, the congregation of Israel, is told to leave Jerusalem when they see the abomination of desolation set up, and the daily sacrifice is taken away from a newly built temple. They're told to flee into the wilderness, and the Bible tells us for 1,290 days. So you can see how, and one last thing on how history repeats itself, is that on the first coming, after that 3.5 years that they're out of there, or Mary was out of there, she and Jesus returned to Jerusalem, right? So, if you think about this now, the congregation's going to flee when the temple is overthrown and the powers are overthrown in Jerusalem. You know, the Jews are overthrown by the Romans again. They're going to flee once they see that happen for 1,290 days. This is the 3.5 year time where the Antichrist will proclaim to be God, and they will tell everyone to worship him. Anyone who doesn't, they'll set up an image for him. They'll have everyone marked implanted in their hand or in their forehead that they can't buy or sell. They'll do all these things, and if anyone doesn't go along with it, they're going to get killed. People are going to get killed for not, rejecting Jesus and all. There's lots of things, but it'll only last for 3.5 years, which is quite short really. And then, just like Jesus returned from Egypt to Jerusalem after 3.5 years in his first coming, in his second coming also, he will return after that 3.5 years of the Antichrist and the 3.5 years that the woman congregation of Israel had to leave Jerusalem. Isn't that amazing? He's going to return actually to earth from the heavens during the second coming, just like he returned with his mother on his first coming. So I just wanted to share with you how history is repeating itself so accurately. I mean, even if people say to me they're a realist, and I say, well, I'm a realist. I've always been a realist, and even when I was an atheist. And if you are a realist, how can you not look at this stuff and go, wow, the Virgin there giving birth, Jupiter impregnates her, 9 months later, September 23rd, she's going to give birth, all the sign, the sun, the moon, crown 12 stars, giving birth to Jupiter the king, who's in her, who's been there for 9 months. There's dragons waiting there to devour it. Like I said, 2 years from there would be the time that the temple is going to get overthrown by the Romans. 2 years after September 2017 will be that window on which the abomination and desolation will get set up after that, and then it's going to be the worst 3.5 years that ever has been and ever will be. So God be with us all. But the times are closing in, so I hope you're having a good day. God bless you all. Keep praying, asking for forgiveness. Pray for your family members, your friends. Pray for me as well. We don't know what God's got in store for us just yet, but anyway, all these things will come to pass, and Jesus Christ will return, and the earth will be restored, and all the dead in him will be coming with him. So God bless you all. Thanks for watching.